Hey there, YouTubers! Hi there, Dr. Sheep here. Before you click off, I need you guys to leave a comment below. So, to answer today's question, what is your opinion on swearing? All social situations, around kids, not around kids, in schools, libraries, wherever, whenever, around whoever. Leave your comments, any specific situations you know of, like this is where it shouldn't be used versus where I think it'd be okay to use, whatever. I'm gonna give my opinion in the next philosophy video, so leave it. We're just exploring the philosophy of swearing. Anyways, now on to today's philosophy video. So all these philosophy videos will be broken down in 3 parts, just like the podcast. So first, we're gonna go over your guys' comments you left on the last podcast. And then we're going to go those comments, not in the last podcast, on the last philosophy video, but today I'm going to do the last podcast because we haven't had a philosophy video before. Anyways, all these comments that you leave on here will be used only on here. They're exclusive to the philosophy video, not the podcast. Unless you comment on the podcast, or this philosophy video, or the next philosophy video, after the next philosophy video is made. Then those comments that I didn't read in the philosophy video will be read on the next podcast. If that makes sense. Anyways, so the next part, 2 and 3, I haven't really figured out the order yet, so let me know which order you think would be best. Today's order is a general overview of all the talking points about this. You know, if there's any facts to talk about, there usually shouldn't be, but there could be. And then if there's any facts to talk about, or what society thinks, what's the norm, and then finally my opinion will be part 3. Okay, so we're just gonna jump into things. Okay, so I'm looking at your guys' comments from the last podcast, which is what we're gonna use, but next time we're not gonna use podcast comments, only philosophy video comments. Dr. Sheep's #1 fan commented, and I'm doing him first, and you'll see why. Yes, I am a pretty big dude. I crush water bottles for a living. Better watch out. He must have missed the very first thing I said, which was today's question. And I guess I haven't even said today's question yet. If you retired today, what amount of money would you think would be enough for you to live for the rest of your life? He didn't answer that question. And also on a note, we don't support fighting on these videos. We're pacifists here. We're philosophists and pacifists. We fight with words. Nice words. Not swears. Anyways, moving on to the water bottles comment. He commented, wow, best podcast yet. Thanks. You were in it, of course. Then he commented, oh, I forgot to answer the first question you asked. I feel like I need like a solid 5K or so since I'm only 18. I'll get into that. Then Riley R commented, all I need is a bowl. That's a deep meaning behind that. We'll get to it. Don't worry. We're gonna get to. I'm gonna explain these. Spaz McGee or Will commented 1 million. Okay. So we'll go back to Riley R here for a second. I think that perfectly sums up this idea. Again, I'll talk about that in the second part, what this whole idea is. But, like, it's not greedy. A bowl you can drink out of, you can eat out of. A bowl, you could probably make some money off of it and then use that money to, continue to live the rest of your life or so. Not like sell the bowl or something, but, make money with the bowl somehow. There was an activity in my entrepreneurship class where they give you a pencil or a paperclip or something. You trade that pencil, paperclip, or pen up. And I heard one year somebody trade that paperclip in, or pencil or pen, all the way up for a bicycle. So, I mean, you could take that bowl realistically and turn it into a bicycle, which you could turn into a car or a house. Probably not a house, but maybe. I don't know. I think it's just a beautiful metaphor there for life. All you need is a bowl. You don't need money. Anyways, on to the water balls. 500K. So, there's a thing in the United States called the poverty line. And I'm going to talk about this in the next part. But the poverty line for the United States is $12,490 per year for one person household. Say you live to be 80, so that's another 62 years, only making $12,490. So you only have that per year to spend. That's $774,380. So you'd be living below the poverty line, which I don't know if that's even really possible. Obviously, the government's got to give you food stamps. I mean, if you were making that amount, or if you only had that amount. So, I mean, maybe he doesn't plan to live as long as 80. Maybe he only plan to live to 50 or 30. That'd be tragic. I don't know. Reckless life the water bottle lives. Spazzy McGee, you're above the poverty line, Spazzy. But not by much. And I remember Kyle was telling me, not Kyle, Phil was telling me that he would do like 1.2 million. And again, because it comes down to greed. And I'm going to talk, and so I think before I talk about greed and the greed aspect, I think we need to move on to the second part. So it's the second part, greed. How does greed play into this idea? Well, see, I got this whole idea for this philosophy question from the H3 podcast, where Ethan, is it Ethan or Nathan? What's his, it's Ethan, right? Yeah, Ethan on the H3 podcast. They discussed this, and he said 20 million. Now, living in California, I would think 20 million probably would be a sufficient amount. So when everybody here commented 1,500,000, you know, and when Phil told me 1.2 million, and because he wanted to just live just above the poverty line, you know, live somewhat comfortably. But I'm like, guys, I gave you the opportunity to have as much money as possible. So clearly they're not greedy people, and they've seen the full idea of this challenge. Now going below the poverty line with 500K is concerning. Also, I don't think Spazzy McGee really realizes after living, and he's even younger than all of us, so a million, stretching it. 500K is below the poverty line, and a million is going to be close to his poverty line. You're not living the life you're living right now. I can't guarantee it, but you're probably not living the life you're living right now. I don't think any of these guys here live the poverty line. I certainly don't, just because of my situation. So I don't think they realize what that's like to be in that situation, you know, with no money, you know, every penny counts, you know, because your car breaks down, or maybe you have to bike every day, you know, living in my state where the weather gets from 100 degrees to minus 20 degrees. It's not a fun time, and it's not easy. And you know, 500K, maybe that works in certain states. I don't think it works here though. Anyways, so this whole idea was, how much money would you need? How greedy to show how greedy people are. I don't think you guys are gonna like my opinion on the next part, but yeah, it's an interesting one. All right, it's the final part. Third part. What's my opinion? My opinion is you could give me the amount of money that Jeff Bezos is worth right now. At least this is whatever site this is $112.5 billion. Bill Gates is worth 103.7. He's catching up. But I think Jeff just did go through a divorce, and maybe Amazon stock's down. I don't know, maybe he sold some. You know, even with that amount of money, you think like, geez, Doc, you're really greedy. It's not greed. Well, it is, kind of. Let me explain. So I always kind of want the next thing, you know. But I'm an entrepreneur. I always find places I think money should go. And thank you for sending me an email. Yay. Anyways, I always feel like there's a different place for this money to go. For instance, what would I do with $112.5 billion? I put some away for retirement. You think weren't you supposed to retire already? Yes. But work gives my life purpose, and I think in the future I'm going to talk. I think there'll be another future philosophy topic is what gives purpose to life, or what's life's purpose. And what gives my life purpose is work. So not working would be nice, but you know, going out and doing something, being a part of something, being the cog is useful. So I put my money to work. I'd put it in a CD or whatever, invest in, you know, I can live last years of my life very luxuriously. If I plan to die. I really don't want to die. So with this amount of money, I might not ever die. Anyways, so what would I do with this money? Well, one thing, after I make my retirement fund, my next thing would be I pour into this channel, you know, buy a proper studio, hire editors and writers, pump out videos every single day about science and science topics. Maybe I won't even host them, all of them anyways, you know. And then I'd take that money and also build a film studio. I would really like to make movies and, you know, be as big as Disney. Obviously, 112.5 billion won't be enough to be as big as Disney, but I could definitely contend, you know, make some big movies, especially if they do well. Next, I'd invest in Tesla, you know, give Elon some money there. I'd dump a ton. I mean a ton of money. I'm talking like $50 billion in SpaceX. Just dump. So they just will have like endless money. At 50 billion for them isn't actually that much, but like I dump like 50 billion into SpaceX after I secure a ride to the International Space Station, the Moon, Mars, and then maybe even beyond, especially if I plan to live forever. You know, with that kind of money, I might be able to, you know, buy myself immortality. Is it greedy? I don't know. But then, you know, but I'd still be making YouTube videos. I guess I'd still be making money. You know, I'd buy a new cell phone, buy a computer, better TV, you know. Material things aren't always good. But I invested in Tesla and other companies, you know, to see them grow. And yeah, sure, I'm going to get some personal benefit out of it, you know, a better Tesla vehicle to drive, obviously, and a quicker route to Mars or whatever, you know. Yeah, obviously that's personal, but at the same time, you know, it's a benefit for all humanity to have electric cars and to go to Mars and beyond. That's a positive. So that's the real thing, you know. Do you think about yourself? Because you are thinking about yourself. That's the interesting thing about this idea. You're thinking about yourself. But if you just were given a ton of money, you could think about other people. And, you know, depending on how much money I have left, depending on how I want to live the rest of my life, you know, maybe I'll donate to Bill and Melinda Gates, or just do what Mr. Beast does and give out money, you know, give people homes and pay for those homes and, you know, the taxes and stuff on that. And I'd also just put the money to work, too, you know, make more money so I can give away more money, or use it to invest in more green companies, you know, invest in solar panels, or cold fusion, whatever. I'm rambling. But yes, don't forget to comment below what your comment, what you would do. What's your opinion on swearing? Sorry. What's your opinion on swearing? Don't forget to comment that. Also, do you think my opinion should go last, or do you think it should go in the middle? I don't know. These videos are kind of long. It looks like I'm watching the timer in the top right-hand corner. I really didn't plan on that, but that's the way the cookie goes, I guess. Anyways, I'd like to thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and share new philosophy videos every other Thursday, 2 p.m. Central Time. And good night. Subs for trees. Subs for trees. Subs for trees. Subs for trees. Oh, you're still here? I thought I told you to go home. Oh, you want more? I'm flattered. Check out the playlist. If you want exclusive content, check out my Instagram, Dr_Sheep_YouTube. That's all lowercase. If you want to help the earth, subscribe. When I reach 100 subscribers, I'm going to plant 10 trees. If you feel that's too small, then check out my channel chart where I lay out even bigger goals. Finally, stick around for the next 20 seconds to give me that sweet watch time. Bye.